everybody, and welcome to the February 6th Oyster Bay East Norwich School Board meeting. If we can all stand now, please, for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'd now like to turn it over to Dr. Yanni for a superintendent's report.
Thank you, Ms. Castro-Giovanni. Good evening, everybody. This week is National School Counseling Week, which is our time to celebrate the unique work that our school counselors do every single day in our schools. I could not be more proud and grateful to have this outstanding group of women who work so hard to empower all our students to achieve excellence. So please join me this week in sharing heartfelt gratitude for the work that all counselors do day in and day out. So we have Dr. Joanne Danka, she's our supervisor of guidance, is here. We have Lisa Lowe, she's at Vernon, Deanna Cali at the high school, Caleb Pollins at the high school, and Danielle Hortil at the high school, and Rebecca Lieberman at the high school. Thank you for all that you do. Oyster Bay High School senior Kira Sanzone was recently awarded second place in the Division II News Story category of the 2023 Student Television Network Fall Nationals. Kira was recognized for our news story senior parking problems that we don't have it anymore as a result. High school students from across the country submitted their best work from the fall semester into the contest, and submission was scored and critiqued by professionals. So as a result, Kira won second place. So I want to congratulate Kira and congratulate Alex Dolan for all the work behind the scene. We are so proud of you. Congratulations. Some of the athletic accomplishments that we have this past week, after a tremendous fall season that saw the Baymen win 3 Nassau County Championship, our winter sports team have already added to the total, and they are looking for more. This past weekend was at the Nassau County Individual Fencing Championship, and we had Luke Kugler won the Individual County Championship in Epe. And Gabriella Sherlock won the individual county championship in foil. Adding 2 more county championship, bringing to a total of 5 so far for the year. And there was an article in Newsday Monday morning which says, "What a day in the Bay," and made us really, really proud. So congratulations to Luke, Gabriella, and the coaches. Congratulations. The winter track is doing very well. The team already won the boys conference championship, and both the boys and the girls will be looking to compete for team and individual county championship on Wednesday, February 7th, which is tomorrow. So congratulations and good luck. On Saturday, February 3rd, the Oyster Bay High School robotics teams competed at Locust Valley High School First Tech Challenge competition. The Bay Bots came in second place overall out of 15 teams, and also took home the Design Control Awards. The team worked hard to prepare, so I want to congratulate all the students and Mr. Schlendorf and Ms. Zambuto for their support and their encouragement. Congratulations. I'm very pleased to announce that the district is preparing for its first full-day pre-kindergarten program that it will begin September 2024. The program will have 36 seats available for eligible students and will be an in-district program. The postcards are going to be mailed this week. The application period will open on February 16th and will close on March 15th, and the lottery will take place on April 16th. And then the announcement, whoever will get picked, will be right after. So looking forward to have a full day kindergarten here in Oyster Bay. Pre-K.
Pre-K.
I'm going fast. Every month, the board and the community get an update on the progress of goals and how things are going in our schools. So this week, we have an opportunity to hear from our principals and assistant principal. So at this point, I'd like to invite to the podium Ms. Deborah Small, the principal of Roosevelt, Mr. Marty Nelson, interim principal of Vernon, and Ms. Anastasia Smith, our assistant principal at Vernon.
Good evening. Again, my name is Martin Nelson. I'm the interim principal at James H. Vernon, and I'm joined here by Deborah Small, our principal at Theodore Roosevelt, and Anastasia Smith, our assistant principal at Vernon. Our presentation this evening will focus in on our efforts in building social, emotional, and literary skills in support of student achievement. I'm happy to say this was a cooperative effort, and we're all on the same page as we're working towards the goals set forth by the Board of Education. My stress is over because I was able to move the PowerPoint. Okay. Throughout the presentation, we will address the goals of the Board of Education, and that includes education goals of student achievement, finance and operations, and community. As someone who has had the opportunity to work in various positions in the Oyster Bay East Norwich School District, I have to say this is truly a remarkable place, not only for its beauty and location, but for the array of opportunities it provides and offers to all of our students. Growing up, it was the old adage, build a strong body and a sound mind. The acronyms have changed over the years, and there are probably a lot of fancy terms they use, but the concept, which is tried and true, is still the same. The opportunities for students in this wonderful community are boundless, and that includes academic development and enrichment, athletics, the arts, and the ever-evolving technology. At Theodore Roosevelt and James H. Vernon, we strive to lay the foundation for our students to develop those academic and social skills whereby as they grow and enter the secondary school, they'll be ready, prepared, and motivated to reap the opportunities that await them. Ms. Small will speak to the literacy components and challenges set forth at Theodore Roosevelt. This will be followed by Ms. Smith, who will share the opportunities and experiences being made available at James H. Vernon to address and enhance our students' social skills and personal development. May I now introduce Ms. Small? Thank you.
In order to ensure the success of every learner, it's essential that every child learn to be a strong reader. So tonight we're going to highlight some of the work that we're doing in literacy with our students. There's been a lot of research through the years about what it takes to ensure that every student learns to read well. To go over some of that together tonight, there's many models that show that. I've chosen Scarborough's reading rope, which I think summarizes it very well. If you look at the rope, there's two groupings that come together of all the different skills. So in the bottom, you see the cool color rope, and that is the skills that go into word recognition for a student to be able to look at the page and decode every word on the page and know what that word says. And those include phonological awareness, decoding, and sight recognition. In the warm colored strands, those are the other things that we need, because once the students recognize the words, they also need to be able to understand what the words mean and to put them together in a meaningful manner for good comprehension. And in the language comprehension strands, we know that our students need to have good work with vocabulary, a rich background knowledge that gives meaning to what they're reading, understanding of the structure and grammar of language, the ability to reason with language, to make inferences, to recognize metaphors, and good knowledge of how books work in general in terms of concepts of print and of genres. And our hope and plan for our children is that their work with word recognition becomes increasingly automatic over time, so that they don't have to stop and think about what the words say, but they can concentrate on being increasingly strategic in their application of what they know about language and background knowledge. Today we're going to hone in a little bit on some of our efforts that we've been making this year, and some of those efforts have been in the area of phonemic awareness and phonics. So first I want to talk a little bit about the difference between those two areas. So phonological awareness is the recognition that words are made up of individual sounds. And phonemic awareness is a sub-branch of that, and phonemes are the smallest units that make sounds in words. For example, in the word cash, there are 3 phonemes: k, a, sh. So students need to be able to break apart the word and hear all of those and then blend them together. In phonics, we now take their ability to hear those sounds and we apply it to the visual. What letters make those sounds? And sometimes it's an individual letter and sometimes it's a letter combo. For example, the sh in cash is made by S and H together. We've done some work to make sure that our students are strong in those areas. Last year at Theodore Roosevelt, the Heggerty Phonemic Awareness Program was piloted by some teachers, and this year we moved to full implementation. So every child going through our pre-K, kindergarten, or first grade will have a thorough grounding in phonemic awareness. For years, Oyster Bay has been using the Wilson Foundation's program to teach phonics skills. We're making additional efforts this year to make sure that we are applying what the students learned during that program to their reading and writing work throughout the day. In addition, we're putting a focus on increased attention to vocabulary and background knowledge. In order to support our teachers in this very important work, we've provided some professional development. We did Heggerty Phonemic Awareness trainings for all of our teachers in pre-K, K, and 1, as well as special education, English as a new language, reading teachers who work with children in all of our grades, including second, who might need support in it. In addition, Ms. McElwee helped arrange Wilson Foundation's training for any new teachers at Roosevelt and Vernon who needed the training in that. We've put a lot of our effort in our faculty meetings this year to making sure that our teachers are thoroughly versed in reading research. And this year in particular, we emphasized phonemic awareness, phonics, background knowledge, and vocabulary. And we've also built in additional support on these topics from external staff developers. So for example, we had a staff developer came in today at Roosevelt and worked with all of our reading teachers from K through 2. All of our teachers got support in how do I transfer what they're learning in foundations into their daily reading and writing work. So they worked on how do I work with small groups on exactly what those students need to focus on. How do I intertwine this into my shared reading work? How do I work with a student on their writing pieces and recognize how they can use their knowledge of phonics? So we did some excellent work with that today. I want to share with you a glimpse into what this looks like in the classroom. So we're going to start with phonemic awareness. I'm not sure what happened there, Alex. But we are going to take a look at Miss Roselle's kindergarten class has shared with us. They're doing the Heggerty Phonemic Awareness Program. While you watch for them. You're going to see the students adding sounds to words. You're going to see them deleting sounds from words, and you're going to see them substituting sounds in words. All right, video.
Here we go. Say ox. Ox. And goat. Ox. Good. Say ick. Ick. And sit. Yeah. Say ock. Ock. And yes. And say im. Im. And him. Yes. Awesome job. Alrighty. Now we are switching out sounds. Are you ready? Yes. Do you think you could do it? Yes. I can't hear you. Yeah! You got it. Here we go. The tricky part. Say the word bat. Bat. Change b to bat. Yeah. Say the word whip. Whip. Take away whoop. Add in sit. Yes. And the last one. Say the word ham. Ham. Take away add in jam. That was incredible. Amazing job, guys.
September of this year, the program's effectiveness is evident when comparing student performance on phonemic awareness assessments given in October and again in January. All students have shown improvement in their ability to blend, segment, and isolate sounds and words. I attribute much of this growth to our daily Heggerty lessons.
In Heggerty, the children are working on practicing individual sounds and combining them to form words. This year, I'm seeing a lot of my students applying these skills as they read independently. I think this will help them as they continue to progress in their reading this year.
So that's how our students learn to recognize and work with sounds and words. Now we're going to take a look at phonics, where our students are applying that knowledge to written print, pairing the sounds with letters, and thanks to Miss Haley Byron and her first grade class. Okay.
When you have S at the end of a word, what sounds S can make? What sounds can S make? Alia? And what else? Good. So S has two sounds, right? Okay, you ready? So we're going to tap out a word, and you're going to listen really, really closely. Are you ready? First, we're going to listen. The word is pins. Pins. Everybody say pins. Pins. Now let's tap it. Get your tapping fingers out. You ready? Here we go. Each sound all the way to the end. Pins. Pins. What do you hear? Who can tell me what do you hear? What's the first sound that you hear?
Huh?
Good. What's the last sound that you do to mark it up? Aaron, what else?
We put a line under the pin.
Why do we put a line under pin? Good job, because it's
Root sound.
the root word, right? The root word. Very good. It's the main word. Good.
So that's a glimpse of what those look like in the classroom. And it's important because students need structured, explicit, systematic instruction in order to ensure that all students succeed. And these programs we're using are programs that have been shown, this type of instruction has been shown to be successful with all types of learners, English language learners, students living in poverty, students with reading disabilities, and any students who need systematic instruction in reading. We've also made an effort to, in accordance with the board goal of involving the community, to involve our parents in what's going on in the schools. So we held a workshop in September for parents entitled Help Your Child Learn to Read. And during that workshop, we shared with them, here's how your child is learning in school, so you can see what your child is doing. And then we had some great discussions about things that parents can do at home to help with that.
Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the social emotional learning component that we have in our schools, because we feel that in order to do the best, you have to feel the best. So that's where we're going to start talking about, starting off with how we use SEL within literacy and other components throughout the day. So at Vernon, one of the things we do is incorporate SEL into our ELA lessons. If you can see, here are some examples of some of the books that are highlighted to discuss inclusion and diversity. Some of these are whole class novels taught during ELA, and others, like a fan favorite, Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Not sure if you're familiar with the title, but it's taught using tiny samples by support staff during our VCB lessons. And during these lessons, they provide exposure to students who are considered different and discuss how they navigate through adolescence. Sorry, I should ask. Also, moving forward, both schools utilize the ruler curriculum. Over at TR, we had two teachers at Roosevelt who did held a workshop during the Parent University that was in the fall. And during that, they educated parents about the ruler program and how to use it at home. For those of you who are not familiar with ruler, it is used widely at both schools, and it's an acronym that stands for recognize, understand, label, express, and regulate. And this is an emotions matter mindset. This helps promote emotional literacy and self-regulation. So how is this incorporated to the day? At Vernon, it is incorporated in multiple ways. So we have our fabulous social worker, Miss Wyman, and our amazing guidance counselor, Miss Lowe, who go into the 3 through 5 grade classes to help build classroom rapport, discussion, and communication. Some examples of how they do this would be defining emotions, discussing why they're important, and recognizing the signs and body signals of different emotions. Again, that's the self-regulation portion of ruler. In addition, our guidance counselor, Miss Lowe, will start seeing the 6th grade students and help them work with the transition from Vernon over to the high school. Because as we know, that is a big jump going from elementary to middle school. And lately, we have been having ample discussions around empathy in the younger grades and what it means to walk in somebody else's shoes. Because what might not seem a big deal for you might be a big deal for somebody else. And it's really important to teach the children how to deal with that and how to address that in the classroom. So up on this slide here, we have different examples of how we use ruler in the classroom. Some of the pictures highlight class charters. The class charters were created with Miss Lowe and Miss Wyman in each of the classes. And I know at TR, the little crayon box is the example from TR. So each class created a model that they wanted to move forward with. And then they set a list of rules that they want to abide by when they are in the classroom to make them feel safe and comfortable and ready to learn. Then they created a template, if you will. They all signed it. It's laminated and hung in their classrooms, and they look at it every day when they walk in, so they know, okay, this is the set of rules that I'm going to abide by that I created with my classmates, so that everyone's on the same page and they can move forward to learning. Students also use the mood meter to learn how to regulate emotions. That's the 4-color quadrant on the bottom. They can use that to help regulate their emotions, going back to recognizing what's changing in their body, being able to sense, well, that goes into the meta moments, being able to sense what it is they're feeling, sensing what's bothering them, pausing, take a deep breath and think about it, see your best self, strategize how you want to respond, and then act in the most helpful way. And these are all methods of ruler that, again, help deal with recognizing what you're feeling and being able to move forward in the best possible way. Now, this is a new initiative that we started at Vernon. Mr. Nelson, Miss Wyman, and myself created the Kindness Matters initiative. So this coincides with the SEL lessons taught about kindness, and students in the school are recognized for paying it forward. Now, something I want to add, it's just not classroom teachers who can nominate students, it's anybody in the school. And the purpose of this is to highlight different types of kindness, because not just one thing that shows kindness. Opening the door is fabulous, but there's other ways that we can pay it forward in the school community besides being nice to somebody and besides opening the door for somebody. A smile can go a long way, especially if someone's having a bad day. And in order for the students to learn the best in school, they have to feel the best in school. So December was Light Up the World with Kindness. As you can see, a little bulb, string of lights. That was the template that was given to the students with their picture and an explanation of what they were nominated for. This was last month's theme, Kindness Snowballs. And I know you can't really read it, but Ryan on the left over there, he was highlighted for helping Frank the janitor with garbage at the end of each day. Whereas on the other side, we have Lily, who helps her classmates with technology strategies. So those are 2 totally different ways of showing kindness that were highlighted by staff members in our school. And I was actually going to nominate a little girl today, Kelly from third grade. She helped me with a student who couldn't find a seat during a read aloud, which is a big deal, believe it or not. So little things like that make a big difference. And another new initiative that we started this year, actually Miss Oliva did in the Leaders Club, was the Bulldog Buddies program. And this is where we take our seniors in the high school, if you will, the 6th graders. We match them up with 3rd graders who were having a little bit of a struggle transitioning from TR over to Vernon. And the purpose of this is to help build confidence and mentor young students. This is our first picture. This is a picture from the first meeting where our 6th graders met their 3rd grade buddies. They met for lunch and they made friendship bracelets because that's very trendy these days, are the friendship bracelets. And they met with their 3rd grade buddies to discuss the trials and tribulations that is 3rd grade. And over here are some other pictures taken throughout some of their activities. In addition to having that first meetup where they made friendship bracelets, they also meet monthly for lunch. They meet weekly, in which the sixth graders help them pack up at the end of the day and kind of make sure that they have everything in order, know what they have to do for homework, know what's expected of them, and kind of help them in that aspect. And then this past week during PARP, we had our sixth grade buddies go into their third grade buddies classroom and help read a book to them. And the third graders were very, felt very special to know somebody in sixth grade come in and read to them. So it really means a lot for somebody. It means a lot for anybody, really, but it was really nice to see sixth graders and third graders coming together. So in addition to keeping it in the school, we're also promoting community activities to build social skills and community outreach. So here is a picture of our chorus students led by Mr. Casitas singing at our annual visit to the Life Enrichment Center back in December. I was fortunate enough to go with them on this trip, and it was great. It was a great experience to watch them, and experiences like this help build confidence and character within our students. There you go. Here are some other examples of other community activities that we have throughout the year. A huge accomplishment and opportunity. I'm sure everyone is aware that some members of our chorus were also selected to sing at the Billy Joel Street naming ceremony, which is an amazing opportunity. And I have a quick clip of their amazing performance. Okay, so in addition to going out into the community, we also welcome them coming to see some of our accomplishments, such as our fall musical, Finding Nemo Jr., which was a fabulous performance. I was mesmerized by how amazing these kids did, and it was great to invite some other members of the outside community in. I know when my husband came, he turned to me and said, "Are they really singing?" I was like, "Yes, they are really singing." So it's great to show the community what we can do inside the school. And we also have our annual toy and food drive that was sponsored by the Student Council and Ms. Hauser. And I know this year they had a record year at the toy drive, raising over 250 toys. So it's great to be able to do things for, it's great to be able to help out different organizations within the community. And lastly, but certainly not least, the 21st Century Capital Improvements Project is dedicated to helping improve social development and interactive skills in our schools. The renovation of the Butler building will allow us to expand and enhance the current and very popular morning intramural program to allow more space and participation. And in addition, the renovation and expansion of the music wing will allow for a more cohesive program in an enriching environment. And those are a couple of pictures from the music programs in the morning, the rehearsals. That's I believe our all-county musicians in the middle, and that's the intramural program to the right. And this unwavering support allows our children to express themselves in a more conducive and supportive environment. And probably the most favorite addition of the school from the students, if you haven't heard from the playground, is a huge hit. Students have more space, a variety of equipment, and ample opportunities for several social interactions. The new playground has many phenomenal additions, such as a rock climbing wall and twice as many swings, I was told. And the basketball court is amazing. I go out there and check out the pickup games that they have going on. And right after I took that last picture, my friend Daniel over there shot the game-winning basket, and I had to go inside before I got too excited. But it was great to go out and watch them really interact. And you'll see kids who wouldn't normally sit next to each other at lunch or sit next to each other in the classroom play with each other outside. And again, in order for them to do the best in school and succeed, they really have to feel comfortable and happy coming to school. And all of these different components really help bring it together. And Deborah's going to add one more little thing.
Another thing we do to ensure the success of all learners is provide the small group support that they need, ranging from support in extra help with reading or math to services such as occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech, etc. And we're very appreciative of the new extension that's being added to the Theodore Roosevelt School because that allows us to have more classroom space. And right now, some of those services are being delivered in less than ideal spaces. And next year, we'll be able to redistribute the rooms in the building to ensure that all those services are delivered in rooms that were intended to be classrooms. And we're very appreciative to the Board of Education, district office leaders, and the community for our school. That's what we had for you tonight. We'd like to invite you to ask us any questions you may have.
Yes, I have a question. So I saw in November and September we had parent involvement in both schools. That's incredible, by the way. Did you receive, I mean, now it's February, have you received any feedback from the parents? Did they feel it was time well spent? Did it help them at home? I'm just curious if you know, how they thought it went.
Sure. So after each night as the night ended, many of the parents came up and spoke to me and to other staff members who were involved in these activities. And they were sharing that they really felt they learned a lot from it. And in some cases, they talked about instances where they were specific to their child and how they felt they were going to help their child with that. And we're also happy to have opportunities for parents to come into other things throughout the year. For example, just this past week, we had a second grade science night where parents could see a little of how their kids are learning science. We did a math night. Later this year, we're doing social studies night and an art night. So we try, and music showcase. So we try a lot of opportunities to bring parents in to see some of what their kids are learning, and also to be good in our communication so that they know how they can best support their child at home. And that's what those two things particularly highlighted.
Great. Yeah, thank you. I would agree, Ms. Smith. I was at Finding Nemo as well, and I thought it was incredible. I thought the displays were off the charts. I mean, for that age group was incredible. I also have to say, I was in Vernon, and nothing against Teddy Roosevelt, I just haven't been in the school recently, but the displays that I saw at Vernon are off the charts. I mean, and I don't know if that's PARP or PTA or the school, but whatever. I happened to be in there for a basketball game and just walked around in amazement of what PARP and some of the other Chinese New Year, some of the other things looked like. It was really incredible to see at that level. Great, thank you.
Anyone else? I'd like to thank you all for your presentation and also for all you do for our youngest learners in the district. It's very important work, so thank you.
Thank you very much.
At this point, I'd like to have Ms. Raynor give us an update on the District Safety Committee.
Yes, thank you. I'd like to start just with a thank you to Lou, our security supervisors, the principals, head custodians, teachers, and staff who each have a valuable role on this committee, bring nursing services, mental health services. Additionally, we invite local law enforcement as well as Peter Leduca from the Nassau County Health and Safety Service. And a special thank you to our board members, Darren Drabosi and Nora Winhausen, for volunteering their time to also be members to this district-wide safety team. So each year, the district-wide safety team reviews the district safety plan to ensure proper training is occurring and defining the procedures. We discuss prevention and intervention strategies. However, since the plan is public, there's no specific building information that is shared at these meetings. Each year at these meetings, and specifically the one we had just recently, each of the principals do prepare building level reports to provide an overview of what's happening in their buildings, ensuring that the drills that are required are being conducted, the protocols are being reviewed and followed, to make sure that the students and staff know what to expect in the event of an emergency situation. This also includes a debriefing after the conclusion of these drills to continue to find ways to improve the safety of the buildings. Additionally, we review the annual compliance training requirements for the district, which I'm happy to report we are up to date. Full-time, hourly, even our per diem staff, and all new staff within 30 days of hire are now receiving the annual training. And we're continuing to work with our building staff, our administrators, to identify additional areas for training as needed each year. From a hardening standpoint, we're working on conducting an inventory and review of our existing security cameras. We have moved to a new vendor recently, and we have upgraded some of the older equipment, as well as assessing some of the angles of our existing cameras to make sure we have full coverage throughout the district, both internal buildings and externally. Another special thank you to Lou, our security supervisor. He's been attending some local workshops that's led not only by Nassau County Department of Homeland Security, but a lot of times in conjunction with our Nassau County BOCES to stay up to date on any new technologies or preventative measures available to school districts. Really helps us stay on that. A lot of work is also done behind the scenes deliberately. It's also not public because of the safety concerns, but it is very important work, even though it's behind the scenes, and it's continually reviewed to ensure our students and staff have a healthy and safe and a secure place to learn and achieve excellence. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Reeder. Thank you, Dr. Yanni, for your report. We'll now move on in the agenda. I'd like to bring a motion for approval of minutes. So moved. Any second? Any questions? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. We'll now move on to public participation. In accordance with the open meeting laws, school board meetings where school district business will be discussed are open to the public. The Oyster Bay East Norwich School Board of Education welcomes public comments at its meetings. The Board of Education will respond to comments and/or inquiries in the appropriate manner. This portion of the meeting is designed exclusively for agenda items. A sign-in book is provided for those residents wishing to address the board. In order to be recognized, you must sign in. Each speaker will be allowed a maximum of 3 minutes. The board president will call you to the microphone in the order in which you have signed in. Public discussion is prohibited regarding matters relating to an individual's reputation, privacy, or right to due process, which in some way could be violated. A second commentary period is provided for non-agenda items prior to adjournment. We thank you for your participation and cooperation. Has anyone signed in? No. Okay. Thank you, Rita. We'll now move on to the approval of instructional personnel items. Resolved upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education of the Oyster Bay East Norwich Central School District hereby approves the instructional personnel items as listed in their entirety. This will be section 6.01 through 6.04. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. We'll now move on to non-instructional personnel items. Resolved upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education of the Oyster Bay East Norwich Central School District hereby approves the non-instructional personnel items as listed in their entirety. This will go through 7.01 through 7.05. Do I have a motion? So moved. Second? Sorry, any questions? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. We will now move on to the approval of special services resolutions. Resolved upon the recommendation of the Superintendent of Schools, the Board of Education of the Oyster Bay East Norwich Central School District hereby approves the special services resolutions as listed in their entirety. Do I have a motion? So moved. Second?
Second.
Any questions? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Move on to approval of business resolutions. Resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education of the Oyster Bay, East Norwich Central School District hereby approves the business resolutions as listed in their entirety. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second? Second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. We'll move on now to the approval of new business resolutions. Resolved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education of the Oyster Bay, East Norwich Central School District hereby approves the new business resolutions as listed in their entirety. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Any questions? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. We'll move on to public participation of non-agenda items, and nobody has signed in. We can now move on to meeting adjournment.
So moved.
A motion, do I have a second? Thank you, everybody, for attending our meeting tonight. Good night.